Candice. Hello. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Happy Friday. Welcome to my platform. Welcome to today's show. I am super excited to introduce to you. Hello, what's up, Jamel? Here she comes, Joandice Candice. Where is she? Oh, wait a second. There she is. Oh, wait. No. Not that. There she goes. Where is she? I added her. I am waiting for my...
Hi!
Oh my God, girl! Look at you! I know. Oh, thank you. Back at you. We are a reflection of one another. How are you?
I'm great. I am so, you know what? I'm like, she is doing her thing, and I'm so proud of you, girl. You just keep
Thank
rising, and I
you.
just love it.
Thank you. You guys who are watching, Joandice and I came into this game together, at the same time.
Yes.
I don't even want to talk about how many years ago at this point. And so let me just step back a little bit so people can really see you in the frame. It's always good when you come of age with people. And I really feel like I've come of age with Joandice. Although we haven't seen each other in a very long time, we've been
Long
following
time.
each other across social media platforms. And she's just so amazing, you guys. She is a Hollywood stunt woman, a Black Hollywood stunt woman. That is the first Black woman in that space, in the stunt space, to have over 100 film and television credits to her name. She has,
Gosh.
yeah, exactly, Joandice. From
With
Alabama,
that's
from
just so crazy.
Birmingham, Alabama, okay? Okay. She has been a stand-in for Academy Award-winning actress Viola Davis, Queen Latifah, Angela Bassett. I mean, you got, Google her. Google her. I'm not going to take over the interview, by
I'm
telling you
very glad.
everything about her. I want you guys to Google her yourself and just find out just how amazing and how much of a trailblazer this beautiful woman really is. So welcome to my platform, Joandice Candice, a Black woman in Hollywood. I just want to
I
talk
know.
about your evolution, coming to Hollywood and, growing up in Alabama. Like, what was it like for you growing up in the South?
Oh my gosh.
Having these big
I was such
dreams
a white
about what
girl
you could be.
growing up. I was such a white girl. I grew up on the white side of town, went to all white schools. You know, I was like a valley girl growing up, but I knew in 11th grade I wanted to go to HBCU. So my grandmama was like, and granddaddy was like, well, you gotta know your culture, so we gonna put you in a black school. So I went to a black school. I was in a culture shock.
You went to Grambling?
Huh?
Where'd you go? Did you go to Grambling or Texas
No,
Southern?
I went to Grambling, yes, and I thought like,
Yeah.
wow, it's a lot of black people at Grambling. You know what I mean? But I was seeing black people that were from different cultures. We had New York, we had Chicago, Florida, LA, and I thought like, this is so amazing. That's where I learned my black history, is going to a black HBCU. It was crazy. So I mean, it was an amazing time at Grambling. And
Yeah.
then I lived in Dallas for another year to get my master's in psychology. And then I moved back to Atlanta for 2 years, then LA. And that's where I met you. When I first got to LA.
Oh, wow. Wow. We have a similar story, because I grew up, with parents who are helicopter parents. You know what I mean? They were
Yeah.
very firm. They weren't playing any games. My father had this mandate in our home that you're going to be somebody, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He graduated from Chain University. I graduated from Cheney University 20 years later, so me and my father are
Oh
both
wow,
alive.
that's amazing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
and
have
my sister.
broken homes, runaways. I didn't have that kind of life at all. I
Oh
was,
wow.
yeah, not at all. I was
I
raised by
mean,
my
we had,
grandparents.
listen, I'm not
Tossed
saying
around.
we were perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
family is perfect, but my parents definitely did their due diligence in making sure that me and my sister would have a college education. And, we followed in the footsteps of my dad, who again went to an HBCU. He went to Cheney, I went to Cheney. My sister graduated from
yeah.
Lincoln with both her bachelor's and her master's. So,
Oh wow,
fast, yeah, right? So fast
right.
forward to,
They did a good
I
job.
know, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fast forward to coming to LA, I just want to talk about the evolution because, so
Okay.
many people, and it's unfortunately that they think, um, you just happen to be where you are, that, it just popped up. You just,
I
hey, all of
mean,
a sudden I'm
it's
successful.
definitely
We
it's
were doing
definitely a
extra work,
marathon.
you guys. We were doing extra work. Joanne, talk about being an extra, and
You
how
know
that
what?
added value to
What,
your
what
career.
set were we on when we were extra? Like, I
We
just
were extras
remember
on everything, Joanne. We were all like
we
every
were on
set
the
together.
Parker videos. We was on. I think the worst
Yeah.
time for me is a video shoot doing a rapper, which I'm not gonna say, that I was humiliated, and I think that was the end of my. Oh, I'm not gonna be an extra in anybody's.
I think I had a similar experience.
Yeah,
And I'm going to go one step further and say mine was with a very popular, world renowned West Coast rapper that I
yeah,
had a bad
yeah.
experience on set
We may
with.
have been on the same set. You never know. It was a lot of rappers. It was a Southern rapper with the West Coast rapper. So
Yeah.
I'll leave.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people from like Texas, that area. I mean, Texas is what, a few hours from LA. So
Well,
you always got
they're
like that.
Texans. Usually people from California are Texans, I would say.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Texans migrate west, and then everything else migrate east. That's how it went.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the black
Yep.
people.
Yep. Girl, tell it. Tell it. Tell it. So I want to talk about, just being on set. Like, when was the first time you walked on set,
I
as an
think
extra first?
I think my first time walking on set was probably on the Parkers.
Was
Then
it
I
the
ended up
Parkers?
acting role on the Parkers as a boxer. I was boxing Layla Ali on there. But it was probably Parkers, and I had a really good time because that's when Brandy was hot, and I love Brandy, and
Yeah.
everybody was coming up on that show. So, I mean, I think. I mean, it was an aha moment of, oh, I want to do that, or I want to be an actor, because stunts was not in. I moved to LA to be an actor, not to be a stunt woman. So I was looking at the
Wow.
actors. But then I would see some of the stunt people do things, but then my focus was still on the acting because I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know? But it was because after the video shoot, there was an open call to be on a wrestling show for WOW. And my agent suggested I go because she says, you're athletic, you should go, try out, blah, blah, blah. And so I made the team. It was thousands of women, So it was one of those, like, you're in the right place at the right time moment, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It actually, going off of the, not saying going completely off of the path, but just making us ever so slight pivot, to doing the action work was just tremendously beneficial to your brand. I mean, to your
Yeah,
development, you
I think
know.
so.
Um, what I want to say to people who are watching, Joanne Deese and I came into the Hollywood space in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
And it was a great time to be in Hollywood. You still had a very close community of Black actors, writers, and producers who
exactly.
supported one
Yeah,
another, regardless as
yeah.
to where we were in our career levels. We all hung out together. You know what I mean? We
Thousands of
all partied together. Yeah, yeah. Because I had the opportunity to be on those same shows. I remember being on the Parkers, Emma Wisha. I was on
yeah.
Providence. I can remember being upset that I did not get a chance to get on the Dorothy Dandridge shoot.
The Dorothy
Remember
Dandridge,
that?
yeah, I remember that. I was
Yeah.
so excited, and I was like, why can't I get on this? Yes.
Yeah, I was trying so I don't know why I couldn't get on that for nothing.
Yeah,
It
I
was
know.
huge, too. It was
It was
huge. Like
yeah,
everybody wanted to be on that.
that performer, we were looking to get on these shows as an extra.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We were like, oh, I gotta be on this, I gotta be on that, I gotta, you know what I mean? That was the thing to do,
Yep.
girl.
Yep. We were out every day, every day. And the pay was shitty, you guys, but the experience, I mean, look
Yeah.
look at where we are today. The experience is
More
far none.
motivated us to like want more, to hone our craft, to want more, because the pay is shitty, but the experience we got as being an extra on the set, by seeing everything and whatever you wanted to do, whatever job, you got to sit there and watch that person do their job.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
so you had an experience by being on set. That's the
Yep.
greatest experience.
And to be a part of that entire process from when, you know, the sound stage is barren, you know, and
Yeah,
then you see the lighting guys and you see the craft service people being the first to show up. And then
you
the,
see
you
the
know,
set
producer, director, the
Yeah,
script supervisor, the actors, you know, you get a chance to understand what the vernacular is, that vocabulary, back to one, checking the gates, roll sound. You know, you get an opportunity to experience all of that. Do not let
all of that.
anyone ever deter you
Yeah,
from being an
yeah,
extra.
yeah.
It is by far the best experience. It is a master class in Hollywood. It is a
I
master
agree.
class in acting and writing and producing in film and in television. I mean, you know, I had a chance to work with like Scott and Steve Harvey. You know, what was
Yeah.
one of the best experience you learned working on set as an extra?
Well, you know, I was working on oh my God, what was it? It was a Nickelodeon show, and I got to work with
Yes,
kids.
stunt queen here. Somebody was like stunt queen. Yes.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of that show, but a lot of people were kind of doing some action or running, whatever. Then I saw what the stunt people were doing. I'm like, oh, how much are they getting paid? Because they were in the front of us. More, it's kind of like if you see a group of us now and they put the stunt people in front to do all the heavy action, to take the explosions, you know, like on big action movies, and then you put the extras kind of behind you to fill the space. I was one of those extras on this Nickelodeon show. It was the craziest thing, and I still never thought that that was stunts, because I thought that these were the actors. If that makes any sense. Until I became a stunt, I remember that day that, oh my God, that was like an epitome. That's where I should be. I was at the right place and just didn't know what it was. And it was on it was on what's that lot in North Hollywood by Universal? The Universal lot, I guess. Yeah.
And wait a minute.
Yeah, no, it was Buena Vista. It was on the Disney lot.
Oh, okay. Warner Brothers. No, Disney, which is right around. Yeah, they're all like right around in that little area there.
So I was thinking like, that's amazing. But I had the best time, because that's the first time I felt that they were actually kind of nice to the extras, that they treated us really nice. We had a place to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that extra life, boy. And if you weren't a SAG extra, you can forget about it, because
if
you'd be watching people have steak and you'd be eating hot dogs. You know, so crazy. Hold on one second. I got to get rid of this little thing there.
Okay.
Oh, wow. How do I get rid of that? Yeah, 1 second, Jay.
So, guys,
Try to get my little lemonade.
Oh, is that lemonade?
Yeah, it's hot out here.
I know. It's hot here too. Summer is here. Summer is here.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, you know, getting representation, you know, getting your team assembled, because it takes the team. It takes collective work. To move brands, to move these careers the way that, you know, the way this industry is set up. You know, so how did you go about like securing your agent? Was it difficult for you, or, you know, how many agents have you had to date, or have you been working with the same one?
Okay. So let's be clear. When it comes to stunts, there is no agent. There's
What?
there's no agents for stunt people. Not yet. There's not an agency open. That now there is an agency called KSA. You know KSA. They do have a stunts and sports division, but there's not an agency for stunts at all. At all. So
How do you
there
get the
were.
work? Like, who's
So this
picking
is
you?
how it
Who's
works.
doing the breakdown?
Well, what happens is I didn't know either. I got recruited because I didn't even know how to get in stunts. I fell into stunts. They saw me on a wrestling show, and Queen Latifah saw me. She was doing Bring Down the House and was like, I want that girl to fight for me on the fight scene and Bringing Down the House. So I got a call from the stunt coordinator to a show, and that was at Universal Lot. And meet Queen Latifah, which I thought I was dreaming the whole 2 hours I was there. They offered me a job on the spot. And I love Queen Latifah because she's just the most loyal person. And she, you know, and I became a stunt woman. And from there, what you have to do as a stunt person, you just start training at these different stunt gyms. And it's more of a hustle, networking. And then you get in this book called, you join a directory.
What's it called?
It's a directory. It's either the Missy's was a directory, and then there was another directory. It was 3 different directories: the stunt players directory, Missy's, and Joni's. Those were the 3 stunt directories. So the stunt coordinator would call and say, "Hey, I need a black girl, 5'7", size whatever," and then you gotta pay to be on that list. You have to be SAG. You have to have done a couple of stunt jobs before. And you're a part of this directory. Now it's different.
So crazy.
I know. That's how you get in stunts. It's pretty much the same.
I never knew. That's the great part about this job. I always.
Oh. Hey, Corey. Corey's here. I'm never there. There's not, and Corey, correct me if I'm wrong, is there an agency in New York for stunts? Not a directory, you know, but an agency, not like CD, whatever that's called in New York, but there's no stunt agencies. So they go through a stunt directory books and call different stunt books. You have an East Coast one, you have a West Coast one, and they're looking for a particular type. Or if you're kind of lucky like me, a lot of people know me because when I started, there was a handful of stunt women. That was the legends, which were April Washington and LaFay Baker and J.D. David and Dee Bryant, you know. So, but now there's like 20 black stunt women, you know. So, but it's like word of mouth, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So they'll call around, and then the more work I did, the more they'll call me and say, "Hey, we need somebody 5'2", you know, a black girl 5'2" that's close to New York, or you know, and then they'll fly you where you gotta go. They just need to know. So, and that's why I created Stunt Pop, you know, because they started calling me more as my career developed, and it's stunt performers of color when they needed an Asian person, whatever. There was. See, not only talent agencies who represent stunt performers, but they represent stunt performers as actors more so. You know, like stunt acting. If there's a role that come up that has lines, like me, my agent knows that about me. She'll send me because the likelihood of me getting the job and being good at that role is high, which is a benefit of being an actor who does stunt.
Wow.
Put it that way. Yeah. So yeah, we don't have agents.
That is amazing.
Crazy, right?
I mean, Joantis, I got to tell you, I mean, you have such a wonderful reputation in this business. It precedes itself.
Oh,
you know, yeah, whenever, you know, I love my people. I love to see people doing well. And when I come face to face with people who, you know, are doing writers or producers, directors, stunts, you know, I'm like, oh, my friend such and such. And they're like, oh, I know that person. Oh, I know that person. You know, and like, you know, last year when I was at the Emmys, I forgot who I was interviewing. And I mentioned you.
Just one. Yeah. Or I think Stranger Things, or, you know.
Who was it? Yeah. What was that? Who was it?
Hold up. I think he won for Stranger Things, right? For best stunts in Stranger Things. He also coordinates The Outsiders. I don't know if you saw that show. He
No, I
does.
haven't seen it. I gotta see that.
He did. You know, he's one of the biggest in the industry. I love Hero. He's amazing. So
When I mentioned your name, Joanne Deese, he lit up. He was like,
oh,
"Oh my
so
God!
sweet.
Oh my God!" And
I
I'm
love
so great just
Hero.
being able to to mention your name in that moment, just for
Oh,
posterity.
that's so
You know what I mean?
sweet.
Like that interview lives forever now. The
Oh, I
interview, the
know. I love
content.
that.
Yeah, that's
Like,
why I love this space and join
have,
work in this space because,
I'm so honored to have
the
come into
interviews
business
live
at a
forever.
time. I'm so honored to have come into business at a time where there was only a handful of stunt women. And then there were stunt women who wanted to be stunt women because of the legends. Hey, Chris Mathilde, because of people like Chris who refer me for jobs, for doing a good job. So that's how I was getting my jobs. I do a good job, and then the people refer me for jobs. So it wasn't
Wow.
because I was, I mean, I'm good at what I do, but also it's about, how you show up on set, set etiquette too. That means a lot
Yeah.
to a lot of stuff, Courtney.
Let's talk about set etiquette, and yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, listen, I can remember one of the first things Chip Fields said to her class that I was a part of, Chip Fields acting workshop at West Angeles Performing Arts Center.
Yes, West Angeles
He
Performing Arts,
said,
yes.
yeah, he was like, when you come to set, right?
Yeah,
Know who your authority is. Know who your authority is.
right,
And it's not you. And it's not
right.
you.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen people who are bold who'll walk straight up to the director and just try to hustle and give them their stuff, or write straight to the producers, or just knock on people's trailers, and it's interesting. But
Yeah.
half the
I've done
time I
that
don't feel.
actually out of naivety. One of my first times doing extra work was on the set of Providence. And I'm young. I'm 20 something years old.
Exactly.
I don't
Right.
even think I'm 25 years old. Right? I walk up to Oz Scott, big Oz Scott, black director Oz Scott, and he was sitting on his camera, the crane. And all
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see is a brother, a man who could be my father. And I just
Exactly.
felt like I could just go up to him. He was so tickled though. In that moment, it worked for me. My
It worked. Yeah,
naivety worked.
you
Yeah.
gotta know when to do it. Exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right. But it was out of naivety where I was just like, oh, black man.
Black man.
Hi.
Yeah,
Yes. I
exactly.
was like, hi, I'm Tanisha. And I'm going to be on your set today. Can
Yeah.
you put the camera on me?
See, that's what I always loved about you. You're where you are, Tanisha, is because I always admired you when we were working, because you were so bold. I used to look at you and be like, she's so beautiful and she's so bold. I would look at you and you would just do your thing. And I was like, oh, if I could have like 10% of that, so that's why in order to do your job, you have to have your personality. I admire you for
Oh,
that,
bless
because
you.
I just
Bless
admire
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, right back at you, Giovanni. That's why I'm glad. Like this COVID climate has just opened up, a different lens for me. I
Yeah.
said, you know what? I want to interview more people who I came through the ranks with.
Oh,
It's great to do the big interviews. Like those are just as important and critical to my brand as well. But for every
yeah.
Tracy Ellis Ross I interview, I want to interview Joandice Candice. You understand what I'm saying? I want to, every time I interview a Padma Lakshmi, I want to
Yeah.
interview, Numa Perrier. You understand what I'm saying? Every time
Yeah.
I interview like a Gabrielle Union, I want to interview Omar Dorsey. Just people
Yeah.
who I came up through the ropes with. So you got an opportunity to be the stand-in for Viola Davis.
Oh my God. Let me tell you,
Woo!
I got a call 3 months after I had my son. My Bryce was about 4 months old. I had just moved to Atlanta. They thought I was still living in LA. And I was like, well, I'm in Atlanta. Oh, that's better because we're filming in Mississippi. Well, it's the double Viola. And I was like, who? Because I just saw her in Doubt. And I was like, they didn't say her name. They did not say Viola's name. Viola and I met each other and we just clicked. Like between her and Queen Latifah, if any one of them called me at 70 years old and say do stunts, I'm like, I'm there. You know, that's just the kind of relationship that I have with, you know.
Let me tell you something. Cicely Tyson is out here at 90-something years old, giving us regal, giving us black elegance, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Getting nominated for Emmy, you know.
Lord, you know what I mean? But we just kind of embraced each other. We had similar backgrounds as far as childhood, and we talked and everything like that. So,
okay, so for you guys who are just joining, I'm talking to a Hollywood stunt woman, Joandice Candies, and she's telling me about.
She's another stunt girl. You gotta know her story. She was a world champion track star in San Diego. She just joined.
What? Hi, Mary. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, bring them to the fold. Bring them to the fold. But we're talking about Viola Davis, Academy Award winning for Best Supporting Actress for The Help. You were her stand-in. How did that come to be?
That's a difference.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Did not mean to say stand-in because I know the difference. I know the difference. I understand that. But yeah, stunt double for Viola Davis. Girl, give it to me.
She's amazing. I mean, she's one of those women that, you know, I could, 6 months could go by and I could text her. We text and we call each other. She woke me up. She was one of the first person on Mother's Day to wake up and say, Happy Mother's Day. I love what you do. And I was like, that's about, you know, but she's so humble and she's so down to earth. So, and we could be talking on set and then they're like, okay, Viola, roll the camera. And then she becomes this other person. And I'm sitting there like, she's amazing. Like, you have to have that sense of, hey, Courtney, you have to have, hey, Ashley, you have to have it in you as an actor, as a true actor, to turn it on and turn it off like that.
I was going to say, there are people that they put in movies, and then there are people who have earned their place in those movies, and those are the true artisans.
Yeah, she's a true artist.
Those are the true artisans. I love Viola. I had the opportunity to interview Viola Davis a couple years ago at Tribeca Film Festival, and I said my name.
At where?
Tribeca. Tribeca Film Festival. Tribeca Film Festival.
She's everywhere. She's everywhere. She got it going on too. Go ahead.
Yeah. We were at Tribeca Film Festival here in New York City. She was promoting a documentary with her husband. I forget the name of the documentary. But I said, you know, hi, you know, I'm Tanisha Laverne Grant with Black in America. She goes, Tanisha. She was like, wow, that's a beautiful name. And I said, thank you. She goes, that's the name of my GPS.
What? That is awesome.
I said, what? She was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, that's the name of my GPS.
That is so awesome. How ironic. I mean, that's so awesome.
So now I feel like Viola's my big sister.
Yeah, exactly. You could say, you remember, this is me. I'm your GPS. You remember me.
Wow. So what is a day in a life like? What is a day in a life like, Joandice, for you? You know, as a stunt double, you know, just taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, you know, just making sure you're in shape, because I'm watching your reels and I'm like,
you know, I got some broken bones going on. I got issues going on in my body. As I get older, okay, when I was young, and this is for anyone who wants to pursue stunts, start therapy early. Even if you think you're not injured, go get your massages, go get your deep tissue going on, go get your acupuncture early, because one day you'll wake up and then you can't move your body anymore. It takes you 5 minutes to get out of bed because I just got finished, because my body remembers the car hit I did a year ago. Or, you know.
Wait a minute, hold up. You said what now? There's this like little delay.
a year from now, after doing a severe stunt, you thinking, oh, I'm cool. You know, Marcus says yes, because he was an ex-football player too. Marcus, your body will remember years later. You know, it seemed like I turned 40 and my body is like tweaking. And some people who are listening, they understand this. And then your body remembers. Remember, you got hurt from the car hit you did 4 years ago? Yeah. The back, now the scar tissue, everything, it starts coming back. So you have to, when I wake up in the morning, I have to stretch. I have to spend, if I don't spend 5 to 10 minutes stretching of some sort before I do anything, before I even meditate, you know, I have to meditate and stretch. I have to stretch. My body's going to be whacked the rest of the day. That's my routine.
Wow.
So even before you get to that point, it's important. Look at Courtney saying, girl, yes, Courtney. Before you do anything in the morning, I say this to people in their 20s who are pursuing stunts or athletes. Take care of your body when you're young, because all stunt performers do this. We do these spectacular stunts, these amazing stunts. Hey, Courtney, we do these amazing stunts, and we play it off on set. We're injured, and we like, you cool? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Because I think for me, I can't speak for everybody else, and let me know any stunt performer who's looking at this or whatever. But you do a stunt, and if you say in front of everybody else, oh, I'm hurt, I don't know if I can do that again, they may say, well, you ain't no stunt person. You know what I mean? You ain't, what's going on? You got enough money? Can you get blown out that house again into the air 30 feet and hit the ground again? Because sometimes we did.
God.
When I got in stunts, we weren't using pads. I had to make sure my body was padded. Now, because of so many, now because of so many injuries, they're using little thin pads.
Hold up, back it up, sis. Back it up.
When I got in stunts, there was not pads.
Is there not a union? There's no union?
No,
what the hell?
There is union. This is just the life of the stunt people. Now, the past 10 years, you have pads on the floor. And I'm sitting and I'm like, wow, we get to actually land on pads now? Because when I got in, you had to make sure you had on your back pad, because you go hit the ground.
Hold on. It's so funny. Because I often...
Now, let me not get it twisted. I'm not saying you jump 30 feet and there's not a pad. I'm saying like a fight scene or doing a ratchet and you may be off the ground like 5 feet. There were no pads.
What is a ratchet?
You have on a harness and you get pulled like an explosion, and you and people like take off in the air. That's you get pulled, or you could get a hand pull and they pull you fast, like a jerk. So it look like you got thrown. Those could throw your back out. You know, just even doing it yourself.
Jesus Christ.
So, and stunt people deserve, I don't know why right now, like I thank God that the Emmys recognize stunt coordination, but the Oscars really need a category, because they have a category for everyone. Everyone on set has a category, and behind the camera, except the stunts. Except the stunts. So
blows my mind.
And then we get paid. Like Tom Cruise gets 20 million, but the stunt coordinator gets a little piece of the pie.
Wow.
And some people risk their lives every day, and I just wish that we could get paid. You know, if you're not going to honor us, pay us. Pay us to shut up so we can stop talking about it. Give us 3 times as much as we make. If you're not going to honor us and recognize us for putting the action in action movies, putting the action in comedies, putting the action in dramas, putting the action, you cannot watch a movie to this day without any stunts in it of some sort. You just can't.
You can't.
I would like to see a movie if they take the action out. There's not a movie. If they take the comedy, if you watch a comedy with all the, funny stuff and flipping and all that, take it out. It's not funny anymore. Stunt people make it funny.
Is there some type of an alliance that you guys have that could advocate, for more, for more visibility in the award space?
Well, yes, one of the top stunt directors, second unit directors, Jack Gill and his brother, they started a coalition with all of the stunt people backing it to try to get signatures and a petition. They're not bending. So I think it's going to have to come from outside. So now the actors are speaking up. Like Brad Pitt, I think when he received his award for his last movie, what is it? The Hollywood Stuntman. What was the last award? The Hollywood Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Hollywood. I think that was Hollywood.
He actually recognized stunt people. You know, like, you know, and said if it wasn't for stunts, he wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be a movie. You know, we need to get stunts in the Oscars.
That's so crazy, Joandice, because I hadn't even thought about it until this conversation.
And I think that's what it is. And people like you mean it from the heart. You didn't think about it. But there are people who know when we're putting in their face. So if you are out and you're interviewing a director, if you're so happen, Tanisha, because you go to a lot of places, you're in these rooms. Yeah. If you could start talking about it, you know, say, hey, some people in the category. If you could now that, you know, we're increasing people's awareness of it because a lot of actors are being aware that there is a problem in Hollywood of not recognizing stunts in the Oscars. The more we can increase the awareness, the more pressure we can have on the Academy Awards to get a category.
Is it just the Academy Awards? Is it the Golden Globes too? Is it the SAG Awards too?
The SAG Awards. And the good thing about the SAG Awards, the SAG Awards recognizes. And the good thing about the SAG Awards, it doesn't just recognize the stunt coordinator, it recognizes everybody in that film or TV that won.
Yeah, yeah.
If I work on Avengers, not only is Monique Ganderton, which is one of the top female directors, going to get an award, I got an award. I got a certificate, and everybody else in the movie got a certificate because SAG value us. You know, our union value.
Jay, there's a question for you. You have a question from Richie who says, why do you need their recognition so much? Speak to that.
You know what, Richie, that's a good question. It's not that it's not like we don't care about the Oscars, who needs the Oscars, but we want them to know that it wouldn't be a top 10 Best Picture movie if it wasn't for stunts. Yeah. So it's about, how do I say it?
It's about inclusion.
Yeah. More than just inclusion, it's about, you can't have stunts in movies without stunt people.
Right.
That's why we need the Oscars. You cannot have any of those movies without stunt people. It is the inclusion. Besides the inclusion, we want to let Hollywood know you're not going to have movies without us. That's like saying, why does director need to be noted? I'm sure that would be a problem. You can't have a movie without a director. You know what I mean? Like, why do we need a director? Why do we need to recognize the director? That's a problem. It's a huge problem.
Hold on.
Whenever you work on a project, whenever you work on a project and you put all of it into it, you want to be recognized for your hard work. Yeah. We get slammed on the ground. We do all of that. I want you to recognize that.
Listen, let me tell you something. There was a scene a few years ago, 12 Years a Slave, Lupita Nyong'o. Slave movies, girl. God, they stay with me. Let me tell you something. There was a scene where Lupita is knocked upside the head with a whiskey decanter. Yeah.
And I'm trying to see, you know what, a lot of times in people like Lupita, and it's also special effects, I got to see who her stunt double was in that movie, because I remember that and I was like, oh, that looked like she did that. It could have been a fake, yeah.
And that's
you can do, but the same thing, you couldn't have pulled. I don't think she had a double girl. I think she did that herself. I think she did all of that herself because, but if you have a Tiffany Jackson, maybe it was Tiffany Jackson. I don't know her, but a lot of that. But
That scene was
Lupita
so
did.
remarkably powerful. That scene was just, and Lupita's role,
She
to the layman eyes, right? Oh,
exactly.
she didn't have a lot of screen time, but her screen time when she was on was so powerful.
And just
And that,
and she wanted to do that because it was a part of her acting. She wanted to feel it. But also she couldn't have done it without the stunt coordinator there. Because
yeah,
he had to show the actor how to hit her, how to beat her up, and for her to move to where it looked like it's real, and a stunt coordinator had to be there. The director couldn't say just go. She would have been beat up for real and couldn't finish the scene and couldn't do a take two and couldn't do a take two. So even if actors do their own stunts, if it wasn't for the stunt coordinators being there to show them how to do a scene, how to pull hair, hair
wow.
pulling is one of the
So let me
worst
ask you this. Is that
Yes.
like an evolution of someone who has a career as a stunt person, as a stunt double? Do you go from stunt double to being a stunt coordinator, or have you worked both jobs
Yeah,
like
a lot of time most
simultaneously?
people, yeah, a lot of time after a few years, that's kind of like the angle people go. People go to be a stunt coordinator or they go to be an action director or even a
Oh,
regular director or like me, an actress. You know what I mean? That's the
yeah,
angle that a lot of people go to because there's only so much your body could take. We can't do this forever, even though the money is pretty good.
yeah.
It's better to work at 9 to 5, but that's usually the angle that people go to.
Now let me ask you this: in terms of like compensation, do you guys, okay, there's your rate that you negotiate,
That we
and
get for the
then
well, we get the rate for the day, and then
uh
depending on the stunt, they give us money on top of that. If that makes sense.
yeah, okay. Kind of
Say
like
say
I have.
if I do the base rate that everybody gets when they show up on set, actors, stunts get the same base rate. But then if I go there and crash a car, I need more money than the little
So
base
it's
rate.
like a bump, kind of
So it's called a stunt adjustment.
stunt adjustment. Okay.
And I know after I did a really bad, I don't even want to say what the stunt was. I started asking ahead of time, what is the stunt adjustment? Like, if it's not worth me doing that, I'm not gonna do it. Get one of these young kids to do that. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I can
So yeah,
imagine.
we get stunt adjustments, but
Yeah,
it's still
you
not
should.
enough to compare to what these actors get for. They have such a
So,
craft.
so you're not getting like the residuals or anything from
No,
when the
no,
movie goes.
no, we don't get the residuals that the money that is announced in the theater from the theater that they profit from the theater. We don't get that, but we get residuals when it goes on TV, DVD, streaming, on
Okay,
the planet, stuff like that. So we don't get the money pool from the theater. I mean, from
okay.
the money. Yeah.
Wow.
So I said we get residuals. That's amazing. That's how I'm able when I'm off work for 3 months. I'm able to survive off of my residuals. But now that
Wow.
COVID hit, and we ain't working, that's another
This
story.
COVID
But
thing.
but you know what? It's a blessing in disguise because, like you said, it's opened your eyes to a lot of things that's going on, not just in your career, but in the world.
Yep.
Issues that should have been brought up long time ago,
Yeah.
years ago, that people are just now, because the world is at a standstill, this country's at a standstill, we're becoming aware of. It
Yep.
makes you look like, oh, this what's been going on because I've been working 24/7. You tune it out. This what's been going on. Love the top
Thank
tea.
you,
Yeah.
Quinn.
Oh, I'll go after you when you get that top. That's Kim.
You guys, I got to share a quick story about this top. So this was John Singleton's favorite top. He loved this top.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. It's sexy. I
Um,
love it.
yeah, and so of course, given his passing, it has become more sentimental to me, and I just felt inclined to wear it today. A friend of mine was saying, "Oh, you should wear a little bit more color." And this is about the only thing that I have because, I came out here for award season, came to LA for award season, did not make it back to New York City as often as I do because I go back and
Yeah.
forth pretty frequently. And I'm like, wow, how much stuff do I have? Not much, but I did have this cute little top and I wanted to wear it today to bring some color
That
to
is
my
very
lives.
cute. I love the way that it's made. I love the whole design of it. It is sexy
Thank
and
you. It's like a
it fits your
handkerchief.
body so tight. Oh, that's
Thank
really
you.
cute.
Yeah, and
I
the
love
back is out. Yeah. Yeah, a little.
it. Yes. I
Yeah,
like that.
it's Hood by Air. Hood by Air.
I
Hood by
love
Air.
that.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So, Joanne Beast, okay, so working with Viola Davis, what is a
Yeah.
day in a life on set? You know what I mean? How long are you on set for?
Oh my.
You arrive what time? In the event that you're working and you do get hurt on set, what happens then? You know what I mean? Have you ever had a situation where you were hurt and you really could not continue to go on that day? You had to take a break, you know?
You know, fortunately for me, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing because I have a high pain tolerance, like high. Where I had a motorcycle accident 3 years ago and I never stopped working, even though I had 3 surgeries, never stopped working. No one knows. I mean, I don't care if they know now. I never stopped working. And I went in between my surgeries, I was working. That's the high pain tolerance. So there are times where I did a stunt and I was like, oh, that hurts. And people like, were like, did you get injured? And I'm like, yeah, but I pushed through mentally. I think I'm mentally tuning out. That's just me though. And I think a lot of that, I learned how to do that with my wrestling career because it's a live performance when we wrestle. So a lot of times you get hurt, you have to keep going, whether you're playing it off, talking crap in the ring, you have to keep going. So I learned a lot of times to do that wrestling. So yeah, there were a lot of times where I was severely injured or I got hurt or I tweaked my back and I'll just go pop an ibuprofen or BC powder and I keep it moving. Or I always have stuff in my
BC
stomach.
powder. Girl, that's
You would
old school.
tell you.
Wait a second. That's old school.
BC powder and Goody Power. I want y'all to tell me that is the best pain reliever in the world. It's like crack on the shelf. I love it. It works for my pain. Any type of pain, any type of pain, pop your BC powder and it works.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
But I also have stuff in my stunt bag where wraps and bandages and heating pads and heating Bengay and you have you have your internal medicines that you take like your herbs and stuff like that. That BC powder. I promise you. Put some in your bag, Corey, in your stunt bag. I promise you. But I also have my herbs I take every day. Go to Cola.
Say hello to somebody. Hi, Terry Baywa. Thank you so much for joining. One of my friends from back home in New York City. I'm talking to Joanne D. Candy. She is a Hollywood stunt woman. She is the first Black woman in stunts to have accumulated over 100 credits in both film and television as a stunt performer. She is an icon and a trailblazer in this space, and I wanted to take a moment and speak with her and just honor her today and let her know that her work has not gone unmissed by people who've been following her career, So she's been a stunt double for Viola Davis, Queen Latifah. I mean, just so many more. Boxing with Layla Ali. I mean, the girl's career. Google her, Wikipedia her. I mean, you're gonna learn a lot.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. So, I mean, just a little bit about your personal life. You have a little boy.
Oh, yeah. I have a 10-year-old boy. Now? He is my life. He takes up all of my time. I feel like I can't even date. I want to date, but my tolerance for dating now because of him is zero.
Girl, let me
I
tell
see
you
a red
something.
flag, I'm out. I don't know about you. I see a red flag, I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah. Listen, I'm like that and I don't have children, but you know, your life, when you talk about dating and partnering up with somebody, you got to be able to identify it
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you can keep moving with it or you just got to be out. You got to be out
And
because
not just that, they talk about women being gold diggers and opportunists. There's some men out there who are
oh
gold diggers
yeah,
and opportunists
yeah, yeah,
that's trying to get with you to get ahead. And you know
yeah,
that you know you I meet a lot of men and that's such a turnoff for me. You know?
yeah. Listen, I have been there. I was in denial about that sort of thing for a long time, and
Yeah, yeah.
my parents had to sit me down like I was an 8 year old and be like, "Listen, you may
Such
not
and
see
such.
yourself, but this is what you look like from. This is what the optics are for your life, and you got
Yeah,
to be really
yeah.
careful. You got to be really,
You
really
do.
careful." You know, and it's disheartening. It's just so disheartening
And I
because,
just feel like a lot of women settle, and you don't have, I've gotten to the point because that was me. So don't get it twisted, y'all. I've been crazy too. I've been that chick too. But you have to get to a point where you're like, I'm better. I'm okay by myself. I like myself. I take myself on dates. All the time. We're not during
yeah,
COVID, but I love taking myself to the movies. I love taking
yeah,
myself to go sit at a bar, and then I usually end up where I get drinks, free drinks anyway. When you go by
yeah.
yourself, I love being able to do that. Come on,
Let me tell you something. You date so
here's
much
my son.
better.
Come over here. Say hi, Bryce. Hi.
Oh my God! Hi, Brian. How are you? So handsome.
Say thank you. He's being nosy. Okay.
Oh God, he is such a handsome guy. Such
Hey,
a handsome
Joseph.
guy. You know, I often say to women, you know, live your life, do more, be more, you know,
Exactly.
accomplish more, get your education, set your career up, you know, travel by yourself, do things by yourself, make big purchases by yourself. You know,
Exactly.
because you can exist better in a relationship. You can identify red flags so much quicker than when you have your own thing going on because you're
I
not
think
looking for
so.
that man as an acquisition. You're really looking for a solid partner. Yeah,
Exactly. And I
you're
think
really
I think
looking
a
for
lot
a
of men
solid
now,
partner.
they look at women like us and they say, "Oh, I can't even play that game with it," which is good. I get a lot of men like that, like who like they won't even approach because they like if they not 100, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not. We're not about shenanigans,
yeah,
So
yeah. You know, I'm here for telling you how I feel, telling you what my wants are, telling you what my needs are. And,
right,
you know,
right,
if that doesn't fall in line with where you are in life, then you know what? Thank you so much. I had an amazing time with you these past few weeks or a couple months or
right.
whatever it is. And I will pivot quickly. I will pivot
Exactly.
quickly, you know,
In
without
a
any
heartbeat.
animosity, without any anger, like, hey, we had this experience, but this is where I am, you know, and I'm never in a situation where I got to stay with a man because I need a roof over my head. I got to stay
Exactly.
with a man because I need money. I got to stay with a man because he has access and I don't. I have my own access, you
Exactly. And
know?
I'm so glad, but you have to take that journey and get to that point. And
Yeah.
the good thing about you and I'm having a deja vu moment. This is a great thing. I'm having a deja vu moment. Oh my God, this is amazing. I always think some
Wow.
positive going That's amazing. The good thing about us is that I know a lot of women, like we got to that point. There are a lot of women who are
Yeah.
still going through that in their 40s and 50s who are still in the matrix. You know what I mean? They're still in the matrix. But the good thing is that we learned, we had our journey, and we could educate them. We
Yeah.
lived through that, and
Yeah.
we've actually self-actualized.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people
Yeah.
who are still at level one, which is sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just
It's a
women, but
beautiful,
men too. Men too.
yeah.
Men settle too. Yeah. So
It's a beautiful place to be,
yeah.
Joandice.
Yes,
You know what I
I
mean?
love us.
It's a
I
beautiful
love
place to
us, girl.
be. Yeah, I love us too. I love us too. I love us too. So what's next for you, Jay?
Um,
Like,
Surviving COVID. Uh,
girl, listen, COVID ain't got nothing on what God
no, I
has in
know.
store for you,
Um,
okay?
well, I what's next for me is making sure in the stunt industry, the same way with our society, that stunt people of color, stunt performers of color are included, are having an inclusion. If that the same way that Hollywood kind of went through, where Hollywood was so white, they say so white. I want to make
Yeah,
sure that stunt, if there's a scene about New York, that need to be adaptable to what New York really is. You need to have some people of color on the set. If this is a scene about, Seattle, well then yeah, you can have a little bit more whites than
right.
that I just want fairness. The same, just fairness and inclusion in the stunt industry. Not just with the performers on sets, but also I want to see more women in positions
Mhm.
of power as stunt coordinators. We have a few women now, but I feel like there can be more. I feel like I love working for women.
Oh,
I've worked
yeah,
for
that's
two of them,
big.
and it's a different vibe you get, than working. I love working for men too. Don't get it wrong, but I just feel like it needs to be a balance as far as having more women doing stunt
Yeah.
coordination. So hopefully that could be a trend too. So that's my place, and that's what I do with my company, Stunt Performers of Color, is that I try to promote more
Stunt
stunt
performers
performers of
of color.
color.
Stunt
Yes,
performers of
it's called
color.
Stunt.
I love that.
I
I
put the
love that.
website in here, y'all, and it's also on IG, because we're gonna have our first workshop next week. I haven't advertised it yet, but that's one of the things we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So in the workshop, so
Oh, there we go. There we
I want to
go.
see more of that, but also I want to act more. I want to do more acting. I want to be more in front of the camera, whether I'm doing stunts in front of the camera and
Okay.
or stunt
I love
acting or
that.
acting. Yeah. So I have a
I
couple of
love
movies
that.
coming out. I'm going to be in P Valley, one episode that's coming out. That's supposed to be a hot show. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, wow, Jay, that is amazing.
Yeah.
We're getting close on time here. We're
Yeah.
almost towards the end. So I like to ask, just a few questions just about, what you're reading or three books. Give me three books that changed your life. Let's end with that.
Okay, three books. I'm reading. I'm dying with her. Let me see. I got to show you this, because this is my friend now, and she's making a wave in the industry. I'm dying with you tonight. I'm reading. Believe it or not, I'm reading J Lo's biography.
Oh, wow. I
I
believe that's
love
fun.
J Lo. Huh?
That's my girl crush. She's a Leo like
Oh,
me.
but I love me some J Lo, so I finally got a chance to do that. So my friend has a book called "I'm Dying with You Tonight." I'm going to show you her book, but they're about to make it into a movie.
Mm.
I don't know if you can see it. It's called "I'm Dying with You Tonight."
Oh,
I know it's
wow.
backwards,
No, I see the
but
cover quite clearly.
she's an activist here, and it's about two teenagers, one black and one white. She wrote this a year ago and went on tour, and how they dealt with racism, how they saw the world growing up with racism and systematic racism. And it's becoming more popular now in this climate. So I have to go back. I'm going back to reread it. And her name is Kimberly Jones, and she's an activist now. She was one
Wow.
of she's been on Trevor Noah. She's been on all over the internet with her speech that she made about systematic racism and monopoly a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
wow.
And you've
I
probably
gotta check
seen
that
it.
out.
Yeah,
I
I sent
gotta
it to you.
check
You've
that
probably
out.
seen it, but she'll be a wonderful person for you to interview, because she's making waves. Her book is Deadline released. Her book is about to become a movie.
Wow. Do you have her contact information to share with me?
Yes, I got her contact. I want you could also follow her here, and I'll give you her contact. And oh, it doesn't
Or
pop
make an
up, huh?
introduction? Yeah. All right, we got 27 seconds left. So we have that
Okay.
book. And what's the other two?
So the other one is J Lo. And I'm also reading Tina Turner because something about her touched my heart. I'm reading her bio now. So I'm reading the two bios,
Oh,
J-Lo, Tina Turner, and I'm Dying with You
okay. So
Tonight.
that was the third. Tina Turner
That
is
was
the
the third.
third.
Yes.
And I love that because Tina Turner is an unrepeatable event. You know, she is powerful beyond measure. You have Siphon